Hello and welcome to this Astro Alert for the period of time between Sunday, September 8th, which is when I'm posting this video, through the full moon, which happens on the morning of the 19th of September. This is a big stretch of time, astrologically speaking, and I've actually been looking forward to this. I don't know if looking forward is quite the right phrase, but I've been sort of anticipating this moment for a while now. And it's here, it has arrived, so it is time to offer you a little bit of reflection about what this next sort of 10-day period has to offer, because it's pretty big. And by big, I mean, and I'm going to start to emphasize this more and more as I share with you, I'm talking about consciousness astrology. If you're looking to astrology to indicate to you when the big events are going to happen and when you're going to buy that new car and when you're going to meet the soulmate, I'm probably not the right teacher for you. Astrology, for me, is a reflection of our consciousness expanding. And as we attend to the inner landscape and the way in which our psyche is oriented, mind and heart and world, as we sort of adjust the things on the inside, the stuff on the outside will take care of itself. And truly, there is only one thing to ever attend to, and that is your heart's intelligence leading the way. Our minds and our hearts tend to pull at each other, and our job as responsible human beings with a diligent spiritual practice is to create congruity between our mind and our hearts so that our heart can lead and not get yanked away by our heads rambling, okay? This is a responsibility that we have. And because this event that's coming up over the next 10 days, involves Saturn, responsibility is really the watchword of the time, because Saturn, the Lord of Karma, the teacher, the big kahuna up there that says, are you being responsible to all that you know, is about to have a meeting in the sky on the 18th of September between himself, the north node of the moon, which is a point in the cosmos that represents our dharma, our future as we unfold into it, and Venus. These 3 points and planets, I'm going to just call them planets. The north node's not really a planet, but just think of it as a planet. It's an archetype. It's a point that means our dharma, our destiny, our future. So destiny, dharma, the future, Saturn, the karmic teacher, and Venus, the archetype of love as it lives in our hearts, are meeting up on September 18th. This is a rare event. Saturn and the North Node will meet every 20, 30 years because of their movement, their slow movement. So that's not a rare event, but it's infrequent. You'll only live through maybe 4 or 5 of these in your life, and that's if you live past 100. The fact that Venus is going to be there exactly where they are, exactly on the day that they meet up on September 18th, is important. Venus is a personal planet. It's the archetype of love. It means that it's an opportunity for all of us who are trekking on a spiritual path, committed to congruity between our minds and our hearts so that we can live in our hearts and therefore bring peace on the planet. This is a big-ass moment, folks. And there's a whole bunch of aspects that begin tomorrow, Monday, September 9th, that happen in succession that lead us up to this big meeting, that make the next 10 days really fruitful for you in your individual spiritual practice on this path of leaning into the heart so that you can listen to the heart's intelligence. It's just an important time. It's an important time to be diligent, responsible, do your practice, do your meditations, write those forgiveness letters, make lists of inventory, take responsibility for the things that you have to take responsibility for the relationships or the challenges that you're, all that stuff. You guys know what to do, right? If you're listening to me, if you're watching this video, you are on the path, which means you have the tools. This is an incredibly important stretch of time to be diligent in working on those tools. This next 10 days would be a time to shut the doors, battle down the hatches, and do the inner work like never before. And that's why I'm posting this video now. Now, I've just talked for endless minutes, and I haven't mentioned any of the transits that are coming up. And so I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to try not to bog it down too much, so that you can get something out of it. But if this is as far as you want to go in the video, just know that between now and the 18th, with this big meeting with Saturn, the North Node, and Venus, it's a moment to just do some deeper work so that you can move into your future, your destiny, your Dharma, North Node, being responsible and being rewarded by the teacher, Saturn, around coming from the heart, Venus. She'll be there leading us all the way. By the way, there's a full moon the very next day on the 19th, so the full moon event is part of this. And full moons are culmination points. They are harvest points. They are the moment when we can see the most that is seeable with regard to all that which is invisible. So the full moon that's coming as part of this event is part of the event. Okay, so Mars is going to square the North Node of the Moon tomorrow, Monday, September 10th, and that activates this moment of, I don't know if I would call this a test or a final exam. It might be experienced by some of us as testing, because when Saturn is present, we get tested, we get tested by life. And that's certainly a way that people can understand how difficult life is. We say, well, it's a test. I'm being tested. And I think that's true. I think we're tested all the time. And so that might be actually a graceful way of understanding this next 10 days. We're going to be tested. It's a little different for my money. I don't think that this is a test, pass, fail kind of moment. I think it's more of an opportunity to experience, because of Venus's presence in this. It's more of an opportunity than to be tested and sort of held back if you fail. It's more of like we're being tested, but there's all of these opportunities to actually adjust as we go. So it's like an open book test with a lot of help from the teacher over the next 10 days. And it starts tomorrow with this square to the nodes. If the North Node represents our future, its opposite point, the South Node, represents our past. Also known as Dharma, future, Karma, past. So if the nodes are involved, we're in the dance of karma dharma. That's why Saturn's presence in this is so important, because he's the teacher, the lord of karma. It's a karmic moment. Saturn squaring this point, that's a T-square. That's an activation of conflicts that provide growth opportunities. And so it sets the thing, it's like the pulling of the gun that starts the race. That happens tomorrow. The moon is still going to be in Scorpio, where all of this action is. Scorpio is about alchemy and manifestation. It's sort of a big startup. On the night of the 10th of September, Venus, who's going to be participating in this big event on the 18th, she moves into Scorpio. Now, she's been in Libra for the last 5 weeks, really just sort of bathing us in love. She's ruled by Libra. It's like, yay, the reflection. I see love out there. I see where love isn't. I make the adjustment. When she gets into Scorpio, it's kind of like now she says, all right, now that you've seen where the love is, let's get to work. Venus in Scorpio says the heart's intelligence is ready to do the deep, intense work, because that's what Scorpio is all about. On the 11th of September, there begins the first of two fingers of God, with Mars again activating Pluto and Chiron. Pluto, alchemy; Chiron, healing. Mars activating these two in this narrow triangle that is a finger of God means that the divine is participating. A finger of God is aptly named. It means that we get pushed or pulled in certain directions based on our willingness to be guided by the unseen, and shifts will happen. There's another finger of God on the 15th of September with Mercury, the mind, how we think, Chiron, the healing presence, and Mars, sort of our physical presence. So you see, these two fingers of God on the September 11th and September 15th really offer us shift moments as we're moving towards this sort of big karmic responsibility testing things. You see, this is what I mean by we're going to be helped and assisted. Then September 18th is the big meeting between the North Node, Saturn, and Venus, and the full moon on the 19th. So I'm just going to sort of wrap up. Hopefully this has been clear enough. I know it's a lot of density, but at a very simplistic level, we're just talking about being more responsible than usual, heightened up in terms of attending to our inner work. Do not let a moment pass where you have the opportunity to take responsibility for something that has gone astray in a relationship, in an idea, to just do your work. Do your prayer work, your meditation work, your forgiveness work, your ritual work. There's lots of, support tools out there, both from me and elsewhere all over the internet. Use them. Read your spiritual inspirations. Sign up for my daily astro alerts if you haven't already. And take advantage of this time to really up your game by going deep. Scorpio supports us in going deep and having that depth, that courage to go into the depths of our hearts, to shift and change things and alchemize ourselves into a more masterful version of who we are as human beings. This is an incredible opportunity, and I send you my love and blessings in the journey. Thank you.